Okay, today we have Michael Menninger, a trimmer and flight controller on board PATRIOT with American Magic here in Pensacola. How'd it go out there today?
Yeah, it was good. We were struggling to find some breeze, but we managed to get up and get a little bit of sailing, so it's a positive day and tried to get as much out of it as we could. So it wasn't, as you can see, we didn't have a great breeze, but.
Yeah, the forecast wasn't great, and it looked like you had some VIPs in town, but guessing you guys probably would have gone out regardless.
Yeah, that was the plan, to go sailing, and we're trying to squeeze in as much sailing as we can with the remaining days we have on PATRIOT because it's coming to close soon.
Okay. With regard to flight control, how much adjustment is needed to the foil flaps once you're in flight?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the sea state, depends on the variability in the breeze, depends on a lot of things, but as a flight controller, you're trying to be as consistent and smooth as possible just to avoid using as much of the flaps and the elevator as possible.
Okay, great. Can you tell us the difference between low flight and high flight, and when do you use the different modes?
Yeah, it's just how high you want to fly, and I guess that could be another sea state, different moding option. The higher the sea state and the bigger the difference between the troughs and the crests, you may want to fly a little bit lower just so you don't get as much tip reaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever sailed in fog like this at those speeds before, and you got to tell us what it's like?
I personally haven't, but the last couple of days it's been a bit foggy, so we've been, there's been a few times where we've been sailing and the coaches and the coach boats have been telling us to stop just because there's not much visibility and there's some other boats out there and channel markers, so trying to keep it safe.
Okay. Is flight control a full-time job, or could it be combined with sail trim and or cyclist?
No, it's a good question. I think that's something that we're trying to ask ourselves, and I'm sure a lot of the other teams are trying to ask as well. And it's going to be a long process to learn how we can be good at kind of melding those two things together, and it's just an ongoing thing that we're working on.
Okay. And then, like, when we're sailing offshore in a rougher sea state, do you tend to try to err on the side of a low flight mode for safety?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends how the boat's setting up and, what type of foil you may have on. I mean, I think when we get to the America's Cup, it's going to be interesting to see how all the different teams choose to mode their boats through the sea state, and, people might choose different foils, people might choose to sail different can angles, ride heights, etc. So I think the sea state brings a certain dynamic, piece to the sailing that I think teams will be able to make different choices and have different platforms.
Okay. And just with a few days remaining sailing PATRIOT in this session, what will the team specifically be trying to get out of the boat?
Yeah, we're just trying to end on a high note, just trying to wrap up the sailing, just with kind of like our highest priorities kind of put behind us and moving on to the AC40 and just trying to round out a good session on PATRIOT, but it's been really good.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Yeah, thanks guys.